Alright, I got a video with problems number 30 and 31 from the Chapter 5 review guide coming at you. So the first problem here, problem number 30, has the directions find all the real zeros of the function. You may wish to use a calculator to graph the function. So I did two things. I took the liberty of rewriting this into standard form. Very important to be looking at standard form. You notice in the original problem the exponents were not in decreasing order. Alright, then I graphed this for you. Now, one thing that I love about this very simple graph is that it shows me all of the zeros, and on top of that, they're all going through whole number points. So I see that I have zeros at x equals -4, x equals 3, and x equals 6. That's the only thing that the problem asks me to do, so I am done. Moving on to problem 31. I have this graph here. It's in a slightly smaller window to try and help it make it easier to see. And the only zero I know is when x equals -2. Now, I know there's a zero in here, but I don't know what number it is. I know there's a zero between 0 and 1, and there's a zero between 1 and 2, but I don't know what x values make those zeros pop up. So what I'm going to do whenever I don't know what to do is synthetic division. Say it with me, people. Synthetic division. So, plugging in x equals -2. Be careful on this one. I messed it up the first time I did it. I get 2, -4, -1, 2, -4, 8, 2, -4, and 0. So, as promised, when I plug in x equals 2, I get y equals 0. Fantastic. And since I don't know what the other zeros are, I'm actually going to write out factors. I'm going to write this out as 2x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 2. Remember, when you do synthetic division, the leftover is a polynomial factor for your function. Alright, so I'm going to try and factor this. It's got 4 terms, so all I know how to do is factoring by grouping. I'm going to take out a 2x squared from the first 2 terms, and I am going to get x minus 1. Then I'm going to look at my next 2 terms, and I am going to take out a -2, and I'm going to get, oh, Patrick. All right. I don't want to re-record this for a 3rd time, so let me show you my mistake. This is x squared as a greatest common factor, and the leftovers are 2x minus 1. All right. Then if I take a greatest common factor of 2, -2 out from the second set of terms, I get 2x minus 1. I thank you so much for bearing with me there, people. All right. So the way that this is going to factor now is to x squared minus 2 times 2x minus 1. Each one of those is going to give me a 0. I'm going to get zeros of 1/2, x equals +1/2, out of this right now blue set of parentheses. All right, now x squared minus 2, how do I get a 0 out of that? Well, I asked myself, if I wanted to, how would I make x squared minus 2 equal 0? Well, x squared would have to be 2, and x would have to be positive or negative square root of 2. So I have 4 answers. They are x equals -2, the one I saw in the graph. X equals 1/2, which is actually kind of obvious now. And then x equals positive or negative square root of 2. One of those is here, one of those is there. All right, thanks for your patience. Let me know if you have questions.